New neighbors should always try to keep the peace.
My partner Teresa and I found your dog up on our property.
Your property?
Because when boundaries aren't respected,
This is my driveway. We're gonna use it.
it can lead to war.
Hey, get off my property!
Being neighbors, there are some things you just don't do.
Incoming! You hit my wife!
He was going to war with his neighbors.
You made a big mistake last night.
Things had escalated to the point of no return.
Open the door!
You think I'm afraid of you?
You kick a dog long enough, he's gonna bite you.
We all felt scared, really scared.
You are crazy! You did this!
Grayson is a peaceful little town in the Kentucky hills that harkens back to a simpler time.
Community.
A lot of people are related to each other in the area.
It's a very conservative town, very religious community.
I've been a pastor here for 40 years. They're hard-working people, and everybody knows everybody.
Almost done.
For over 30 years, Clyde and Kathy Reddicks have lived on this quiet, dead-end street.
Good boy.
Clyde worked at the local steel plant for 3 decades until he recently retired. Kathy is a homemaker.
They just seemed like everybody else. The well-manicured home, the pets that they obviously dote on. Clyde spent a lot of time working on the yard. He was meticulous about it, and the house was immaculate. He was obviously very proud of the property.
Clyde is also a proud veteran.
Clyde is an American hero. He's one of the few people I ever met that had 3 Purple Hearts.
Clyde was just a quiet man that never said nothing unless you asked him a question.
Mixed for many years.
Kathy was the more outgoing of the two. She was more social. There were occasions we'd meet on the road and we'd stop and talk about the weather and so forth.
Clyde loved her with all of his heart. I married Clyde's sister. Me and him have been friends ever since. That area was a very private place for them, and they felt that their home is their castle.
And the Reddicks are about to get some new neighbors. Another couple have come out here in search of their own piece of paradise.
Hey, you miss the dog?
Wooly?
Oh, Wooly, what are you doing?
Hey there, I'm Jeff Flaher. My partner Teresa and I found your dog up on our property.
Your property?
Yeah, we got the lot just up there.
Oh.
Jeff Flaher works in transport. His girlfriend, Teresa Lettingham, is a stay-at-home mom. They plan to build a home for their growing family.
My mom, she was very nice, loving, caring. She always put us first, the kids first.
Even though she's new to the neighborhood, Teresa still has a connection. Was named after her father's family.
In the area, people who settle on a road name that road, and the Criswells named it after themselves. So that tells you how long they've been there.
With her family history in the area, Teresa thinks it's a good way to get back to her roots.
My name's Kathy Reddicks, and this is my husband, Clyde.
How are you?
How you doing?
My dog didn't mean to trespass. That lot's been vacant for 30 years.
Yeah, building starts tomorrow. We're really pumped.
Oh.
Clyde and Kathy are blindsided by the news that the empty lot next door is suddenly open to development.
They'd been up there 20 years or more, and they didn't have no neighbors.
That's great.
Great.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Bye. Okay, bye.
That changes things.
In fact, It changes things in ways no one could possibly imagine. The Flahers quickly build their dream home, putting an end to the peace and quiet Clyde and Kathy have enjoyed for years.
I can do it tomorrow, actually. I don't have...
Hi! House sure went up fast!
Well, when you know what you want, you get it done fast.
Yeah, the kids love their new home.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking.
For Teresa's eldest daughter, Shanna, the new family home makes for a perfect childhood.
We had a trampoline, a swimming pool, bicycles. We literally had everything we wanted. Everything fun.
Dad, look over there!
What?
He's looking!
Did you try to shoot me when I wasn't looking?
Jeff and Teresa finally have the life they've always wanted. But the Reddicks believe in a different kind of domestic bliss.
I'm gonna get you. I am so close to getting you.
They had a pretty good sized porch. Clyde was always out there. We were just probably too loud or something, just being kids.
Younger people with kids have a very busy life. A lot of coming and going. They like music. They like to move around. And Kathy and Clyde, the sudden injection of the Flahers into that area would have been a disruption to the peace that they were seeking.
Who wants to go fishing? Yeah? Okay. Let's go get the stuff and then we'll go fishing, okay?
The Reddicks take refuge from the noise by staying indoors, but Jeff and his kids encroach even further.
Really? I will take us home. Are you sure? Are you positive?
Behind the Reddicks' residence, there's an access road that leads to a pond. I could see where that bypass would be confused as a private drive.
So we tell Mom that I got the big one, right?
Okay, wait. I tell?
Sure.
Because that was really exciting. I want to tell her all those details.
Seeing the new neighbor's shortcut through his backyard doesn't sit well with Clyde.
I'm gonna nip this in the bud.
Look, can't use my driveway.
Are you? Is this some kind of joke? Look, it's a public road. It's not private.
I've lived here for 30 years. This is my driveway, and you're on it.
And my understanding is that the road was county-owned. Some of it probably over on the Reddicks' property a little bit.
We're gonna use it. You use it, and I'll call the cops.
Come on, girls, let's go. You do whatever you want to do.
Clyde gave pretty clear signals that he didn't want to be bothered. To me, once you receive that signal, you should heed that signal. And that goes for everybody, but there's a different kind of respect for somebody of Clyde's generation. Especially the fact that he served in the military. You give them a certain level of respect. Obviously, that wasn't present.
What do we do?
I'm happy that we moved because our
The Reddicks' new neighbors ignore the warnings to stay off the shortcut, and Clyde becomes even more terrified.
It'd be kind of scary to go out. Clyde seemed like a very angry dude, always yelling and being mean.
Daddy, he's yelling at us!
What?
The neighbor, she was yelling at us!
Jeff is not the type of person to back down from a fight.
Jeff?
Clyde was very much an alpha male, and he was going to show them that this was his neighborhood. He was going to do what he wanted.
Being neighbors, there are some things you just don't do.
This is my driveway.
We're gonna use it.
There wasn't a lot of fence mending between either side.
Clyde and Kathy Reddicks are stunned when Jeff Flaher and Teresa Lettingham build a house on the vacant lot next door, in for more than 30 years.
Jeff and Teresa felt that they were in a place where they had every right to be, and the Reddicks thought that they were infringing on their lives.
And when Jeff takes Teresa's visiting brother, Phil Criswell, down to the fishing hole across the Reddicks' property, things get even worse.
You can stop right there.
Hold on, Mr. Reddicks. My family built this road. That's why it's called Criswell Lane.
That may be, but this part of it is private.
Clyde did speak to Philip about it and claimed that that was his property.
Look, we would appreciate it if you'd be a little more neighborly.
Listen, you can't use my driveway.
Come on.
You crazy old man. You and your fat tub of a wife can go right to hell.
Kathy was very sensitive about her weight, and Jeff would taunt her.
Come on.
This was just another way to intimidate both Clyde and Kathy.
For Clyde, the insults are another slap in the face. And to make matters worse, Jeff continued at night.
Jeff was very big into motorcycles, loud motorcycles.
He was a bully, and he just wanted to push his weight around.
Daddy!
Well, they got something you guys are gonna love.
We just have family time, you know, just like any other family.
All right, stand back, guys. You want another one?
Yeah!
Hey, it's Sunday. Stop that racket. We're just having fun.
Right, now.
Clyde didn't mind having neighbors, but it was the type of neighbors they were. They just bugged him and pushed him and pushed him. Now, if I was going to mess with one of my neighbors, I'd pick someone that was the weakest one in the bunch. I would not pick somebody that didn't say nothing, because they say the one's the quietest is the most dangerous. And Clyde was sure quiet.
Little does Clyde know, there are more.
Jeff Flaher and Teresa Lettingham were the polar opposites of Clyde and Kathy Reddicks. They enjoyed the more raucous lifestyle. They did a lot of partying. They enjoyed shooting off fireworks, even when it wasn't the 4th of July.
Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go.
He started shooting bottle rockets and Roman candles. There is actually a rocket that goes up and comes down.
The noise angers the Reddicks, but when the fireworks land on their lawn, it pushes them over the edge.
The bottle rockets would litter the Reddicks' property.
Clyde, there's another one right there. Get that one.
I think they were setting them off on purpose, aiming at the home.
They're up on the roof. They're hitting the roof.
Oh my gosh, Jeff.
I think so.
Incoming!
No. Jeff, come on.
It's gonna be so good.
One of the bottle rockets actually hit Kathy.
Call the police.
She had on a sweater and it burned it.
The Reddicks did contact the police. The police saw evidence of fireworks being shot off.
We wouldn't do that to our neighbors. We had some family over.
Jeff told them that there were people over at the house who had been shooting off fireworks, but they had left.
You know, your neighbor over there is a vet. You may want to lay off the explosives.
Okay. Sorry.
13 out of 13.
There was not a lot that they could do because there was no actual proof that Jeff and Teresa were the ones who had actually shot off the bottle rockets.
I think Kathy and Clyde hoped the law, by intervening and bringing the message that they didn't like the harassment, would correct the situation.
The party's over, and the Reddicks tuck in for the night. But it doesn't take long before Jeff reignites the conflict.
Who do they think they are?
Kathy could tell how distressed Clyde was when he would hear the explosive sound when the rocket fired.
He's been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder.
I think that was a result of the hell that he had suffered in Vietnam.
And when them rockets start falling, I grant you that it all flashed back. I grant you that. Clyde felt like he was the end of the rope and that he had to take care of this himself.
I think it sent him into combat mode.
Now, Clyde keeps a watchful eye on his property at all times, waiting for his neighbors to make one false move. And that doesn't take long.
I told you guys not to come here!
If you're trying to escalate a situation, well, that's one sure way to do it.
After a dangerous incident involving fireworks.
You hit my wife!
A feud over the disputed boundary between these Kentucky neighbors becomes even more explosive.
I told you guys not to come here!
Clyde draws a line in the sand, refusing to let anyone cut through his yard, even if it is a public road. Tension lingers over the neighborhood. And for Kathy, even the simple joy of an afternoon stroll is now impossible.
Oh, better give her a wide berth, kids. She needs it.
Jeff was a bully, and like most bullies, I think he chose targets he thought were weak.
Don't call her obese, kids. She's got enough on her plate already.
They made fun of her being fat. You know, nobody likes that.
I can't think of anything more personal and more hurtful to do.
And this got to...
Shut up! You kids, shut up!
Settle down, old man.
Clyde! That's enough!
Yeah, Clyde, why don't you go back inside?
The ongoing abuse, escalating conflict, take a toll on Kathy.
You know, after you get harassed so many times, it'd probably get to you. He just harassed them any way that he thought he could get to Clyde.
It appeared to them that Jeff took great pleasure in doing that.
Must have been tormented like a toothache, and I never did like a toothache. I don't know if Jeff really realized that Clyde was really a time bomb.
As tensions in the neighborhood fester, someone sends a message. The family dog is dead, and the conflict takes on a new life.
Pretty sure he poisoned it. That's what Jeff said. Made us angry, sad. And we all like that dog very well. I don't know why he would do it, probably just to be mean.
There are some things that you can write off and go, well, maybe they didn't mean to do it, but if somebody poisoned your dog, wouldn't you take that as a personal attack?
It was sort of a veiled threat. You'd best sleep with one eye open, and it just fed this simmering animosity between these two couples.
Fear grips the neighborhood as the feud enters a new and volatile phase. Now more than ever, Jeff is determined to win the feud with the Reddicks. Even a casual...
At the heart of this feud, you had two alpha males going head-to-head, albeit in very different ways. Neither side was willing to let up, was willing to work towards a resolution.
Oh my God, what's he doing? Clyde, do something!
If you keep this up, you're gonna get hurt.
You made a big mistake last night.
He actually ran the Reddicks' car off the road with his bike. The Reddicks were obviously very upset about that. Clyde's combat mode was just going into overdrive, making him think that he was going to have to take some sort of extreme measures to protect Kathy and himself.
The conflict between the Reddicks and Jeff and Teresa has escalated to an unprecedented level. The Reddicks' problems grow even worse. Kathy is not handling the pressure well.
How are you, dear?
Kathy was very upset. She actually felt threatened. Her to be concerned for her safety.
With all that they have endured, Kathy had just been pushed to her breaking point.
Honey, you need to rest.
I've had enough. Hey! Shut that thing off!
You think I'm afraid of you?
At that point, things had escalated to the point of no return.
Just harassment from one end to the other. And you know, you can push people just too far.
A dispute between neighbors is in danger of turning deadly.
Shut that thing off!
You think I'm afraid of you? Are you freaking crazy?
Kathy's actions could be considered as out of control at that point. And I think that it showed where this relationship between...
It's the first warning shot in this intensifying war.
They wanted to sow wickedness, but they didn't want to take the consequences. And I don't know if they really realized what they're messing with.
A few days after the shooting incident,
Hey, we're not gonna be long. You guys be good.
Okay.
the Flahers head into town to run some errands. So they hire Dustin, a neighborhood babysitter, to mind the children.
Hey, and don't take any guff from those damn Reddicks. Yes, sir.
The babysitter had a couple of the kids down on the road playing.
Dustin and the children play dangerously close to the Reddicks' property line, unaware that Kathy's on the warpath.
The kids may be throwing rocks into the Reddicks' yard.
Hey, you guys getting better.
Just being kids. I think that what in Kathy's mind, it was much, much bigger. I think that she wanted an altercation.
Hey! Watch it!
Inside now.
I think she probably went up there in a state of anger, rage, frustration, all those things, to where she's gotten beyond rational thought.
Open the door!
Go away!
She just sat there beating on the door,
Open it!
yelling and screaming, and the door was locked. None of us would open the door, and it made her mad. So she took one of our cinder blocks. It was scary then at that point. Didn't know what she was gonna do.
Jeff, you gotta get back here. She's going crazy.
Ah!
She threw the cinder block in Jeff's truck window.
Jeff and Teresa race home, shocked at Kathy's actions.
My mother, she was angry.
If Kathy, what would she be capable of if she'd actually accessed the home?
The police were called to the scene.
Our kids were there.
Kathy was identified as the one who had done this.
She tried to kill me.
Yeah, you have to do something about this.
Jeff and Teresa also mentioned Kathy's shot earlier.
Jeff! Oh! She's crazy.
She's absolutely crazy.
Police decide it's time to have a talk with the Reddicks.
Kathy and Clyde, they knew they was in trouble. They knew they'd done something wrong.
The troopers tried to speak to the Reddicks, but nobody answered the door.
They're just trying to avoid the consequences for what they had done.
For the next few hours, there's no sign of Kathy and Clyde. And the neighborhood falls into an eerie silence. But it's merely the calm before the storm.
You know what? Thursday, Shanna has dance class, actually.
Teresa, Jeff, and the children settle into their usual evening routine. And Dustin stays for dinner.
At some point, the babysitter noticed that Clyde and Kathy were back.
They're back home! Give me the pink eye again!
Just tell them we called the cops.
You up the creek now, you ancient freaks?
That's when the babysitter yelled and put his middle finger up.
Cops are coming! They'll be here any
Dustin taunts the Reddicks, hurling insults and making obscene gestures.
He would use their last name in a crude manner, just a barrage of insults.
You know how that goes. You kick a dog long enough, he's going to bite you.
Jeff, wake up, let's go.
What? The babysitter heard footsteps and crawled into the closet.
On the other side of the house, Teresa and the children are unaware of the danger.
No, it's fine. It's
No,
fine.
no, please.
Jeff? Please don't.
We all felt scared. Really scared.
Mama!
It just seemed like it was inevitable.
No, please.
What began as a spat over noise and property boundaries
Jeff?
spiraled out of control.
Please don't.
Mama!
Police are called to the home by neighbors who have heard the gunshots. Detective Robert Garnes arrives on the scene to find a double homicide.
Yeah.
Teresa Lettingham and Jeff Flaher are dead.
They were both shot by a 20-gauge shotgun in the chest, and it would have caused significant damage to vital organs.
The suspect in custody next door. Excellent. Cooperating? Yeah. What'd you talk to him?
To me, shooting two people, I mean, that's terrible. It's terrible. I don't know how you ever would recuperate from it. When the police found them, the Reddicks were just sitting on the porch, relaxing.
Clyde and Kathy cooperate with the police.
They were really hard on her.
And then, Detective Garnes is blindsided by a shocking confession.
It was me.
Kathy said that
I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay. Tell me how it happened.
I had the shotgun and he shut the door. So I shot him through the back door.
So you shot him through the back door of the house?
That's what I just told you.
She said that she shot through the back door, which is not what happened. We know. Jeff was shot through the bedroom door.
No, please, no!
Police believe that Kathy is lying, and the babysitter confirms their suspicions. He identifies the killer as Clyde.
Clyde was walking towards Dustin and shot. Pellets hit the house. Dustin, he ran into the bedroom.
Jeff! Wake up, wake up. There's trouble.
And crawled into the closet. From his vantage point, he could only see Jeff.
No, please, no, no!
Fall to the floor. He then heard footsteps leaving, going towards the living room.
Jeff? Please don't do this.
Mama!
He heard another shot, and then the footsteps went out the back door. When he looked out the window, Clive was walking towards his home with the shotgun, and Kathy was standing waiting for him. If it wasn't for a witness, it would have been hard for us to really know who had gone into that home. Dustin put Clyde in the residence by his actions before and after.
No way. Through the door.
Obviously, Clyde told her what had happened. So Clyde was willing to allow her to take the blame for it.
Detectives can't seem to fathom why Kathy would take the blame for murdering her neighbors.
It's that in the heat of the moment, things happen. But in this situation, There was plenty of opportunity for Clyde to have thought about what he was doing and to take a different approach. But his answer was to kill two people. I think that's just evil taking over.
I was struck by the methodical nature. If you take into account that he was trained by the military, this is how he's going to go about eliminating these targets.
I think he went in to get rid of the threat, just like you would in a war.
No, 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 please, no!
Teresa, I think that her motherly instincts kicked in. Common sense would tell you to run away from the shot.
Jeff?
But she went to try to protect her kids.
How do people get to that point of murdering somebody regardless of who's watching? What's going through your head?
Please don't do this.
Children are right there.
I was sitting right there on the couch. I was really with my mom.
Please don't do this.
Horrible. Very horrible.
Please.
It all happened really fast. I just remember seeing my mom on the ground, just laying there. I was 6, so I didn't really know exactly, but I knew something bad had happened. After he left, I tried to find my little brother because he was crying. So I just wanted to protect him.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Whatever fireworks were fired, whatever Clyde's issues were, whatever Jeff and Teresa did to provoke it, the parents of these children were murdered in front of them. How do you move forward from that?
Prosecutors collect evidence against Clyde Reddix, and the case goes to trial.
Clyde was facing the death penalty. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder.
To murder. But then Clyde unexpectedly changes his plea in hopes of cutting a deal.
Clyde did not want to put his wife through an entire trial, so he took the deal. He pled guilty to a lesser offense.
He pleaded guilty but mentally ill to 2 counts of first-degree manslaughter, and he was sentenced to 35 years.
I've tried probably 40 homicide cases, but this was really the only case where I felt that the defendant was not guilty because of post-traumatic stress disorder.
I believe in post-traumatic stress disorder, but I don't believe that that's a justification for murder. There's a lot of people that suffer post-traumatic stress that don't kill their neighbors.
I don't think any man just up and kills 2 people without first counting the cost. He probably had went to the end of his rope. And some people's rope's longer than others.
Part of the plea deal also was that he dismissed.
I was really angry about that. Kathy, she deserved just as much as what Clyde got. Because she was a part of it. Whatever he done, she done too.
There's no indication that Kathy tried to hold him back from her behavior all day.
Open the door! Ah!
It seemed like she encouraged it. Clyde was the one suffering post-traumatic stress. What's Kathy's excuse?
Kathy pleads guilty to the lesser charge of hindering prosecution and serves 2 years in custody and then a year under house arrest.
I don't know how much more she could have got, but I think the court went lenient on her. At the end of the day, Clyde's actions, supported by Kathy's encouragement, caused the death of 2 people.
Some believe a major factor in her sentencing with Kathy's claims of poor health and ongoing medical treatment.
It makes me wonder how real that was. Based on the lies that they told and the things that they did, I don't know if you can trust anything they say.
And Clyde's health is the bigger issue. His life is cut short by illness.
Clyde served 6 years in prison. He was diagnosed with cancer in 2012, and he passed away at a hospital in Louisville.
Kathy's running around Grayson now, and I've spoke to the family members, and they see her, and it's a constant reminder to them of their victimization. It's a terrible, terrible case. All the lives ruined.
I never thought it could happen to me, but it did, and it was awful. I try not to think about it a lot, but it's hard not to sometimes. I don't know why it happened to us.
A happy community is based on give and take.
Hi, we're your neighbors.
Oh, how lovely.
Fresh batch. Thank you.
But sometimes a neighbor can take too much.
We need to build a fence.
Why are you doing it on my property?
They marked the property without talking to her.
My flag!
She stood her ground.
What makes you think it's yours? Whose side are you on anyway?
They are with me. They're against me.
Just traitors! You are on my property.
No. Oh my God!
I'll call the cops.
You do that.
You look like dumb.
I'm walking the line. What you gonna do?
Get off my property.
I was concerned that someone would get hurt.
And if you don't fight back,
I guess you could call her crazy.
Leave us alone! Stop!
you may end up giving your life.
It was going to continue until someone either moved or died.
Everybody's got their breaking point.
You are crazy!
You did this!
Coopersville, Michigan is known for frigid winters and warm inhabitants.
The community is really quiet. It's mainly just a lot of families. Everybody's pretty close and friendly.
Great community. Call your neighbor, get a cup of sugar. It's that kind of living.
That's what Wendell Popejoy and Rhonda Clark love most about living here.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Wendell, come on, lunch is ready.
So supper.
Wendell and Rhonda live with Rhonda's daughter, Morgan.
Wendell and Mom love the house because it was on a good piece of property. It was out in the middle of nowhere, but kind of close to his work, a 30-minute drive from Grand Rapids.
So what do you got?
Come here and see what I got.
A former Air Force mechanic, Wendell now repairs medical equipment at the local hospital.
Good job, baby.
Thank you.
Wendell known as a steady character. On-time job within the Children's Hospital in Grand Rapids.
He was a good guy, a hard worker, a caring neighbor.
Hey, Wendell.
During their 3 years here, the family has to Sheila.
How about a trade? Fish for fruit. Fresh batch.
Sheila Bungie is a nurse's aide who lives on a 2-acre plot of land right next door.
My mom absolutely loved that piece of property, and she really enjoyed living there.
She loved gardening. She loved being outside.
What's wrong? Watching your figure?
Sheila was a selfless person. We'd give you anything that she had.
Come on, Wendell, what do you think?
Well, if they come from your garden, we got ourselves a deal.
Of course they're from my garden. Thank you.
My mom had a pretty good relationship with Wendell and Rhonda.
All right, which one do you like?
This one.
Sheila is the self-appointed guardian of the driveway she shares with her neighbors. She repairs it in the summer and keeps it clear in the winter.
It was kind of comical. If she had 2 inches of snow in her driveway, she was out with the snowblower, snow blowing it out.
Hey, Sheila.
Doing a great job, Sheila. Missed a spot.
Pretty sure that Wendell and Rhonda were happy that they didn't have to do any of the maintenance themselves.
Hey, looks like we got company.
For that driveway, Mark and Beth have come here for the peace and quiet of country living.
We wanted an old farmhouse, just kind of nostalgic. We could go fishing, we could have animals, and there's lots of room for us to explore.
Or it'd be nice to have some new people around.
Yeah.
Want to go meet them? You know, I'd love to, but my grandkids are coming. So you go ahead. I'll go over later.
All right.
Okay, don't work too
Take care.
hard.
Yeah.
She'd been living this back road for so long that she was excited for new neighbors.
It won't take long for excitement to turn into terror.
Last box, I hope.
Not another one. I don't know where we're going to put everything.
My mom made a gift basket for them, like the neighborly thing to do.
Hi, we're your neighbors.
Oh, hello.
And they really enjoyed that.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
They just wanted to start a life out in the country and have a farm, and we got along with Mark and Beth just great.
Seeing eye to eye is crucial because all 3 properties are connected by a single private driveway.
My mom, her house was at the very far back corner, and she lived next door to Wendell and Rhonda.
And for her family to enjoy.
Sheila was regarded as a very loving mother and a grandmother.
This was her little piece of paradise. She had everything she needed there to make her happy.
But life out in the country isn't always peaceful.
Another raccoon.
My mom had a .22 rifle. We considered it the varmint gun. We had ducks, and we had raccoons getting in there eating the eggs.
Were those gunshots?
Sounds like it.
It's something Mark and Beth aren't used to.
Don't worry, guys. Just a raccoon.
They aren't the only ones who will have to adjust.
Sheila looked out her window and seen Mark and Beth placing fence posts onto what Sheila believed was her property.
What's going on here?
Sheila confronted them. She stood her ground with what she thought was hers.
We're getting Highland cows and chickens, so we need to build a fence.
We needed to keep...
Because they marked the property without talking to her.
Why are you doing it on my property?
Well, Sheila, I think there's been a misunderstanding here.
This is part of the easement.
The easement legally is for ingress, egress, and utilities only, meaning you could go to your house, you could come back to the road. Sheila was using the easement as her own personal property.
We own all of this property. From here to here, the woods back there, and all of this.
When she bought the house, she was told what her property lines were. Mark and Beth said that Sheila didn't own as much as she thought she did of that land.
Your lot just happens to be in the middle of our land.
You're free to use it for certain things, but the land belongs to Beth and I.
That can't be. I've used this land for years. I mean, my swing set.
We initially didn't want this property because of the fact that there was 2 lots in the middle of it.
Well, I'm going to look into this.
Take a look right here. Here's the easement. Here's a property line.
No, I'm going to find out what's going on here.
That was Mark and Beth's first encounter with Sheila, so that didn't go very well.
Keep going.
Problems for Sheila.
Excuse me? Who are you? And what are you doing on my property?
Sheila did walk out and seen that surveyors were out there pounding stakes in the ground.
I'm just a property surveyor. I was hired to survey the property lines.
Who sent you, Mark and Beth?
I can't tell you that, ma'am. Well,
show me your credentials. I don't know you're a surveyor.
First of all, the company vehicle that they drove had nothing to do with surveying. They were unable to provide proper identification.
Off you go.
I'm gonna let you sort this out with your neighbors, and then I'll come back.
I don't think so.
She didn't believe the surveyors, so she chased them off.
Sheila was not happy about the stakes in the fence. She wasn't happy at all.
Who's that guy trespassing on my property?
This was her land, her property, and somebody was taking it.
What's the meaning of this? I don't want to see this. You're not going to get away with it.
Who's trespassing now?
She was going to fight with everything she had for her land.
What's going on here?
We need to build a fence.
Why are you in my yard?
As soon as Mark and Beth got the land surveyed,
Who are you? What are you doing on my property?
all hell broke loose.
When Mark and Beth moved out to the country, they had big plans that ran right over their neighbor Sheila Bunge's little piece of paradise.
Who's trespassing now?
It was getting ridiculous with the stakes and the poles and stuff that they were putting in her yard.
Hey, Sheila, come on. Listen, let's work this out.
It needed to end.
There's nothing to work out. That's my property.
We want to extend the road.
I don't think so.
This is not your land, Sheila. This is our land.
And all your stuff has to move.
What the hell it does?
She was told she had to move the swing, a couple of the bushes, and the flagpole that she had there.
When the survey went through, the land that she was claiming ownership to is Mark and Beth's. Sheila took that news as war.
Neighbors Wendell and Rhonda have never seen this side of their old friend.
Pussy. That's been my property for years.
What seems to be the problem, Sheila?
They're trying to take my land.
Well, according to the survey, the playground is our yard.
Just because you use it doesn't mean it's yours.
It's there in black and white who the land belongs to. It wasn't hers.
He has a point, Sheila.
The lines drawn in this dispute aren't just about property anymore.
What makes you think it's yours? Whose side are you on anyway?
Now, it's about loyalty.
Rhonda and Wendell ended up in the middle. Literally, their home is located between Sheila's and Mark and Beth's, and they were caught in the crossfire.
Sheila, calm down.
Don't tell me what to do.
Sheila was crushed. Sheila did feel betrayed by Rhonda and Wendell when they took Mark and Beth's side.
You haven't seen the last of me. Thieves!
Sheila definitely wouldn't let us borrow a cup of sugar anymore. We couldn't be friends with both of them. She made that decision for us.
It seems Sheila's friends have abandoned her.
The relationship between my mother and Rhonda and Wendell dramatically changed. She was very upset.
Despite her objections, work continues on the fence.
Thank you.
With the full support of Wendell and Rhonda.
It seems as if Sheila thought of if they are with me, they're against me.
Sheila finds solace in her sister Val and her daughter Jane.
Sheila?
What's going on? I live pretty close to my mom, and I would go out there whenever I had a chance. We shared everything with each other.
It's the neighbors. First they want my land, and then my friends.
What?
What's this? My diary.
My mom was writing things down in a journal, and she would just try to document just all incidents that would happen, so she had her own record.
What was that?
And her journal is about to get a new entry.
My flag!
They come in and pulled up the flagpole.
My mom got really irritated that her property, her personal property, was removed.
You won't get away with this!
My mother, she's a very, very petite woman.
You're not gonna get away with this!
But she definitely would make her presence known.
She language that I can't repeat. It was difficult. Just constant harassment.
Take that! your chickens and your stupid cows. I hope they choke on it.
We couldn't understand the words coming out of her mouth half the day, and she was just screaming even when no one was outside.
I'll call the cops!
You do that!
I guess you could call her crazy.
Sheila would run outside and start yelling the most vile names at them.
Stand there and look at that dumb yes, you are.
Screaming at them.
Son of a bitch! John! Come on over! You're the fat high enough, man. You can beat my ass from looking over your ass! I'm walking the line. What you gonna do?
You are on my property, and you better get off and leave me alone.
No, this is ours.
Rhonda decides not to put up with it.
My mom purchased an air horn to blow it as Sheila was yelling.
Music to my ears!
I'd rather hear an air horn than Sheila yelling at me any day of the year.
Wendell was always a calm one. He always wanted...
I don't know. I'm sick of it.
He would even say to Rhonda, you know, just let her go.
Come on, let's go inside.
Just one more.
Okay.
Sheila's good friend Guy is there to witness the growing feud.
Oh, that should do it.
I was there one afternoon. Pretty much any time she needed something, I'd go help her out.
Hey, look at those guys out there.
Oh, again? Oh.
Now that Mark and Beth are building a fence to keep their cows in, Wendell and Rhonda want a barrier of their own.
Here comes the reason for the fence.
What are you doing now?
We just want some peace and quiet, Sheila. Enough's enough.
Wendell was getting a fence put up to block out seeing her, and maybe she get the point that we're done listening to her. We just wanted some privacy.
We want our space.
Traitors! You're just traitors!
Trying to make it better, and it just made her even more mad.
It was all part of their game with Mark and Beth. Another one of their schemes to bully her.
I'm done. Oh. You know what? Do you know any lawyers?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Sheila'd come to me and ask me if I might know of an attorney to help her with this land issue.
That way they could settle the property dispute in court.
Sheila hopes the law will be on her side. But Mark and Beth have already had the same idea.
We filed a civil case against Sheila because she would not stop harassing us, and also because she was making claims to our property. We wanted something with teeth, a court order for her to stop harassing us.
Now, it's 4 against 1.
I know you're conspiring against me! See you in court, psycho! I am not going to sit by and let them take my land.
I've never seen you like this.
Look. You believe that?
Sheila was very much to stand up for herself. She'd tell you just how she felt, and if you didn't like it, she was sorry for that, but you still heard it.
Before Sheila can send a message, someone beats her to the punch.
A rabbit was killed on her property, and my mother was very upset. That's quite scary to think about.
It was very shocking to see a human being act like that.
You're a psycho! Stop! Oh my God! You won't get away with this!
There was no escaping Sheila's wrath when you were outside.
Who are you? What are you doing on my property?
A land survey creates a rift on a shared driveway. Neighbors Wendell and Rhonda take sides with the newcomers, Mark and Beth.
This is our land. Calm down, Sheila.
For Sheila Bungie, the fight to preserve her property has turned deeply personal.
This was becoming more than just a property line issue.
Now, after months of feud,
My mother believed that Rhonda had shot the rabbit in her yard and left it there.
I know this was you!
Sheila did make allegations that Rhonda was shooting at her house at one point. The police did come out and investigated that.
See this? Look at this. This is a threat to my life.
I don't see any bullet holes. I'll write up a report. I'll send you a copy.
She's always out there shooting things. Go and talk to her.
Sheila, please. I have talked to her, okay? I'll write up that report and I'll send you a copy, okay?
According to the police report, no one shot the rabbit.
Sheila can't understand. The police can't do anything.
It was like they heard her, but they didn't want to deal with it.
So she takes matters into her own hands.
Here, take that. You're insane. I can't take this.
As the tension on the road intensifies, Wendell is even more determined to fence Sheila out.
You're doing a great job. It looks really nice.
Thanks. You will never get your fence.
Sheila just kept antagonizing us. The fence will be taken down because she is a lawyer.
Yeah, and you'll never steal our land. You're the only cow that needs to be caged around here, Sheila.
Rhonda would come out and started being obnoxious, very belligerent, rotten language.
And it's not your land.
My mom felt the two closest neighbors were both ganging up on her and bullying her.
I said things aren't going to end good out there, that somebody needs to do something to stop this feuding that's going on. Something bad is going to happen.
How does this end?
I just knew it wouldn't end well.
As summer turns to winter, the animosity continues to fester.
That fence better not be on my land.
Her rage was daily, morning, night.
Why don't you go blow that thing somewhere else?
Sheila actually turned the chute toward Rhonda and pelted her with snow and ice.
Seriously, Sheila? Are you kidding me?
You push somebody and they, when they've had enough, they've had enough.
Police are called, but Sheila denies the accusation.
Sheila said she was snow blowing the driveway, not intentionally blowing it on anybody.
Ultimately, Sheila knew that the police weren't going to do anything, and that maybe led to her continuing this ongoing harassment of Rhonda and Wendell.
When Sheila snowblowed, she would snowblow after we snowblowed our driveway and blow everything back in that we just snowblowed out.
This is what we got to put up with. Our driveway is cleaned, and she's blowing it in ours. Like she can't flip it around and throw it in the field.
What happens next depends on who you believe.
You clown! What are you doing, you crazy woman? Stop!
Sheila said that my mom hit her snowblower with a shovel. It wasn't true.
You're leaving all the dirty work to her, lady? What, are you not man enough for me?
There was an exchange of words.
You want to see a real man?
My mother said Wendell stood up and exposed himself to her.
You want to see my other gun?
You pig!
Yet again, police are called to the area.
So I was just out shoveling the driveway, and then she comes over, and she starts blowing it all back in, and then she hits me all over the back with the snow.
It's Sheila, correct?
Yeah, Sheila.
Okay. And what did you do after this?
Nothing.
Rhonda pleads total innocence to the snow shovel attack.
She didn't hit her snowblower with the shovel.
Oh, come on. Why would I do that?
That's what she told me.
Well, she's clearly lying.
She also claims it's not Wendell who exposed himself.
Okay.
And then she moons us. She pulls her pants down. She's slapping her butt.
Kiss my ass.
She would get out of the car and flip you off, and she was constantly, I guess you can call it twerking in a way, towards us all the time and smacking her butt.
Then she starts screaming at the neighbors and threatening them. She's threatening to kill all their chickens, their cows, everything. You should go over and talk to Mark and Beth.
We're gonna do that.
Sheila denies everything.
You didn't say anything?
No.
No one could prove it. There was no videos, no pictures. It was just hearsay.
The next time Sheila harasses her neighbors, they're prepared.
The police told us to always video record her, if possible.
I'm gonna send a guy over there with a 2x4 with nails in it.
She said that she was gonna send her 7-foot-tall, 300-pounder over to come and kill us.
Everything that's alive on your property is gonna die.
I recorded what she was saying to us, and I gave all of that information to the police.
Can you send me a copy of this? You have my email. My team will have a look at it.
But there's still nothing police can do to end the feud.
As far as the police or the prosecutor ordering the two neighbors into some type of mediation, there's no vehicle for that in the criminal court system.
You better listen and understand. You will know on your ass. Jury trial, guaranteed.
As tempers flare, all three parties file for personal protection orders. All of them are denied.
One judge chastised the parties and said, I cannot make you be good neighbors. I cannot make you behave yourselves. That is not the law's purpose.
Being denied the PPOs made us feel like we had no protection. The only thing we could fall back on now was our civil case.
But their pending harassment case against Sheila won't be heard for months. Until then, everyone is living in fear. And with good reason.
Oh my God!
I went outside in the morning and my chickens were dead. We called on several times, she called several times, Rhonda called several times.
No matter how often police come out, there is not sufficient evidence to charge either neighbor with any crime.
I know they were frustrated, the police officer, but nothing was done to halt this.
It's a good thing Sheila knows how to protect herself.
Sheila had a .357 Magnum pistol, and she knew how to use it.
It was going to continue until someone either moved or gave up the 40 feet of grass or died.
I was concerned that someone would get hurt.
The conflict between Mark and Beth, Wendell and Rhonda, and their neighbor Sheila has become so bad that Sheila decides to arm herself.
I told her she needed to start carrying her pistol if she was going to walk down and get her mail.
They knew that she had a gun, and they didn't know what she was capable of.
Sheila made us feel like we were pretty couldn't walk the easement without her harassing us. We couldn't go get our mail at the same time she did.
We shouldn't have to live in fear.
We won't have to.
Since Sheila is carrying her gun, Mark decides to as well.
We would feel so threatened that Mark would take a gun with him when he would go out to the field because you just never knew what she was going to do.
Everyone on the driveway is packing heat. And according to Sheila, it's Rhonda's gun that goes off first.
You are crazy!
Sheila alleged that Rhonda shot at her house with a .22 long rifle.
As gun enthusiasts, we know the laws. You cannot shoot towards houses.
With allegations of gunfire, police once again rush to the scene.
What is it now, John?
Got a report of shots fired.
Wasn't me.
Mom denied the claims. She was inside all day with Wendell. I'm sure football was on.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Police found out that the gun hadn't been fired in weeks.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
The complaint goes nowhere. But the reports just keep on coming.
More than 50 times over a period of a year and some months.
Sheila continues to keep a detailed log of all her altercations with her neighbors.
My mom was documenting everything so that way she would have information to bring to her attorney.
She even shot when the kids were here the other day. I have to do this.
Sheila now lives in constant fear, feeling clearly outnumbered.
We weren't plotting against her an evil plan to get rid of her. We were just hoping time would run its course.
With the arrival of Christmas, the civil harassment suit that began it all 5 years earlier might end everything.
Hey guys,
Merry
come on
Christmas.
Season's greetings.
Merry Christmas. Hi, Merry Christmas.
Good to see you.
Mark and I went over to Rhonda and Wendell's and had Christmas Eve with them. We exchanged Christmas gifts.
You? And for you. What is it?
The court date they've been waiting for has finally...
Subpoenas to show up to our civil case. They were prime witnesses.
It's over. It's finally going to be over.
On January 9th, they were supposed to go to court.
Yeah, screw her.
To the end of the year and all our troubles.
Oh, cheers. Cheers.
I'll drink to that.
The end of the year won't be the end of their problems.
On Tuesday, the 26th of December, then, I had the day off of work. We had gotten snow overnight.
Sheila heads out to clear the driveway with her usual bravado.
Well, out there, folks, weather threatens snowfall in the Grand Rapids area, and it's going to be a chilly new year. Those roads are icy, so you stay warm, take care of each other. Your detailed weather report coming up.
What the hell? You gotta check out this whack job.
I heard some yelling, and I knew that it was Sheila shoveling over by her house. I didn't really pay her much attention.
And you do that again, you're gonna pay.
You've got to be kidding me.
It's going to be a bloody new year.
I don't think anybody saw this coming. Everybody's got their breaking point.
A 6-year feud between neighbors has destroyed all harmony. A winter storm has blanketed the area in white. And 2 days after Christmas, the shared driveway is unusually quiet.
I didn't see Sheila over Christmas because I had worked and it was so bad that next day and I was tired from working, so I figured I'd go the following day.
Sheila's friend Guy heads over to check on her.
I tried to call Sheila twice on the 27th when I was going to take her Christmas presents out to her. I went out there and the driveway hadn't been snowblowed. The snowblower being outside was odd. Sheila always kept it inside.
Have you seen my mom?
Her daughter Jane is also starting to worry.
I came up on my mom's property. Nothing had been touched, and that to me was abnormal.
Mom?
And then the fact that her door was unlocked.
Mom?
Said something's not right here.
Is everything all right?
Her car keys were right there. Her cell phone was sitting there.
I'm calling the cops.
I called the police and told them I needed to make a missing persons report.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Initially, we were just looking to see if she had fallen somewhere.
We haven't seen her. We're just worried that something's happened to her.
It was bone-chilling cold. It was just so cold you could barely be outside.
After searching for hours, police find no sign of Sheila. Jane discovers a clue in her mother's diary.
I think you need to look at this. My mother had wrote a note in one of her journals that said, if anything ever happens to me, look to my neighbors next door.
All right, we'll go have a chat with the neighbors.
The question is, which neighbor? Sheila had problems with them all.
The officer did ask me if they could safely access our pastures.
They find nothing on Mark and Beth's property, so they go next door.
Wendell, you seen Sheila?
No, I haven't.
When the police went over to Mom and Wendell's house, they weren't surprised that she was missing.
Okay, well, we just need to send some search parties.
Enough's enough.
Police will have to return the next day with a search warrant. But Sheila's family aren't wasting any time.
Are you sure we should go down there?
Yes.
My brother said, let's take a couple of us and we're gonna walk to where we're not supposed to go. So we walked behind Wendell's house and we hadn't walked very far.
My uncle had noticed a foot. He kind of brushed back the snow more, and that's when they seen my mom lying there naked.
Sheila Bungie is dead. Wendell Popejoy is arrested for her murder. Wendell gives detectives a chilling and unexpected confession.
She was blowing snow into their driveway, a frequent event.
Wendell always tried to stay out of it. He just snapped.
Wendell decided this is the end. And he retrieved a 6-cylinder pistol. And he walked outside in the blowing snowstorm between 2 trees and approached her from behind with the wind howling.
Walked right up behind her. Shot her.
How many shots did you fire?
Just one.
Even if she'd have been carrying a pistol the day that he shot her, she wouldn't have known he was there.
Then what happened? I pushed her snowblower back to her house. Went and got the sled.
He picked her up like a sack of potatoes and threw her body on the sled.
Removed Sheila's clothes. He placed them in a burn barrel.
What items of clothing did you take off from her? All that she had on.
And he then threw the gun over the bridge into the river.
Wendell claims he acted alone. That Rhonda had taken a sleeping pill that morning and slept through the whole thing. In late 2018, Wendell Popejoy is convicted for the murder of Sheila Bungie and sentenced to life in prison.
He took her life. He killed her. I knew he did it.
Are you sorry you did it? I'm sorry for my actions, I guess. I'd say I'm not really sorry she's gone.
Mark and Beth still live next door to Rhonda and her daughter. And the terror continue.
I went back to Sheila's house to pick up some articles of hers. When we seen the message on the garage door.
It was a big thank you to Wendell for killing Sheila.
When we drive down that road, it's like... it's horrible.
I'm missing out on my relationship that I had with my mom. It doesn't matter how mad you get, you just don't go out and murder somebody.
At least my mom got a little bit of justice, you know, what justice could be had. You know, unfortunately, we'll never get her back.
I lost a part of my life. Sheila was like the big sister. She was a hell of a good friend.